October. Sober October? Oktober Fest? Roll it. Well, here we are, another month in this godforsaken year, October. But you know what? The Love Cafe vibes and the Love Cafe content persists. This magical month of October, I'm going to be sharing my favourite and hopefully your favourite German recipes to celebrate Oktoberfest. But what gives me the authority to do that? Nothing. I know absolutely nothing about Germany, nor do I know anything about Oktoberfest. However, I love to learn, as is the nature of the Love Cafe. So to help us learn a bit more about Germany and Oktoberfest, I have a very special guest joining us via the power of the interwebs. So please welcome James. G'day James, how you going?
Hey mate, nice to see you.
So thanks for joining us. Before you start running your mouth about why City should have won the 2016 Premiership, why don't you tell us a little bit about your connection to Germany and the story of Oktoberfest?
I started studying German in high school, and then at the end of year 12, I won a scholarship to go over to Germany with an organisation called SAGSA, and then subsequently I've stayed involved with the German language by studying it at university, and I'm now the vice president of the German Australian Student Society. So I maintain quite a strong connection to Germany since the first time that I went there.
Oh, very good. So you say you're pretty good at the language, you right?
Currently not so crash hot. Like obviously used to be better when I was actually over there, but I mean, if nothing else, I try and keep up to date with as much German as I can, and just to prove that I can still in fact speak German, I've got a tongue twister, which Germans just love overcomplicating their language as if they need to. And the tongue twister is actually related to what we're talking about today, talking about Oktoberfest and pretzels. Tongue twister is Der Bäcker Boris Becker backt braune bayerische Brezeln, which pretty much just means the baker Boris Becker bakes brown Bavarian pretzels, which I don't know why he'd be doing that, seeing as he's a tennis player and he's not from Bavaria. But Germans love tongue twisters. So there you go.
All right. There you go.
That's all the German you're getting out of me.
That's fine. So what about Oktoberfest? What is the whole? What is it? Why do we celebrate it at all?
Yeah, I guess everyone in Australia builds up Oktoberfest as this like wild festival, and pretty much that's how it started. It was sort of I think it was the early 1800s. Pretty much one of the kings of Bavaria married his wife, and they had a massive festival and just invited everyone, whether it was royalty or the common folk or whatever. Everyone came. There were horse tournaments, there was jousting, there was heaps of food, beer, that sort of thing. It was kind of like Oktoberfest is at the end of the warmer months in Germany. So what they do is they pretty much drink all of the previous year's excess beer. And that's where the whole like drinking big steins of beer at Oktoberfest comes from. It's kind of celebrating the end of the summer and pretty much eating and drinking everything that was left over. And it's just a huge celebration for the royalty that's still celebrated today.
Cool. So obviously you mentioned about drinking all the rest of the beer, and then I would associate food-wise with bratwurst and sausages, but also what we're making today, pretzels. As you said, what did you say, Brezeln?
Yeah, so they're known as either Brezeln or Laugerbrezeln. They vary widely throughout Germany. Some places have completely different names for them, but they're all pretty much the same thing. They're bread that's tied into a funny shaped knot.
And is that where the shape comes from? Is that the knot?
Yeah, so no one actually really knows where the shape comes from. They know that pretzels were originally made by monks, which is funny because beer was also originally made by monks. So aside from religion, they've given us two great things. people think that the shape comes from the shape that people make when they're praying. Like, I guess if you put your hands into kind of a praying shape, you've sort of got like the loop here and the loop here. Yeah, and apparently they used to be given as gifts to the kids when they prayed. So I don't know, a good incentive, I guess. Yeah, that's where people think the shape comes from.
Amazing. Well, interesting stuff, I guess. And well, let's have a go at them, I suppose. I wish you could be here where I live, but unfortunately, at the time of filming, it's there's a 5K radius limit. So thank you very much for informing us, educating us. We love to learn on the Love Cafe, as we know. I guess we'll see you again this month to chat about some more German food.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess it's one of the things that Germany's known most widely for is their food, which is completely different to what we have in Australia, but it's still just bread and meat and vegetables. It's just such great stuff. Yeah, so I'm sure I'll be back for some more knowledge when it comes to, I don't know, making bratwurst or sauerkraut or maybe a Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte if you're daring enough. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see. We'll get there.
All right, let's get into it. Cheers.
No worries. Cheers.
Thanks, Jim.
Cheers.
Other than our celebratory Oktoberfest beer, for Brezeln we're going to need 1 kilo of flour, 10 grams of brown sugar, 20 grams of salt, 260 mils of milk and water, 80 grams of melted butter, finally 7 grams of yeast. At the end, serve it with butter or mustard or just cheese or another special German cream cheese thing that I'll reveal at the end of the video. Oh yeah, and I also forgot bicarb soda. So for pretzels, super easy. I saw this recipe first on TikTok of all places from someone called Hot Dog from Hell. I don't know who you are, but it's a great German pretzel recipe. But I also found it on BBC Good Food, so who knows where it's from. Maybe it's the very first pretzel recipe ever made. But anyway, what we're gonna do is put into the bowl of a stand mixer 260 grams of water, 260 mils of milk, 7 grams of yeast, 10 grams of sugar, and our conveniently packaged 1 kilo of flour. And don't forget the butter, like I nearly did. Mix it on medium for about 5 minutes, or until everything starts to come away from the sides. And after a few seconds, that's when I add in the salt. As you can see, the stand mix is putting in a lot of work here. So that's pretty indicative of the amount of work that it would take for you to do it by hand. You can absolutely do it by hand. It just might take a bit longer otherwise. So now that the dough is pulling away from the sides well and truly and it's somewhat cohesive, we can take it out of the bowl and then start kneading. Now, for those of you with the keen eye and you're thinking, hey, he wasn't wearing an apron before, I absolutely forgot to put it on at the start of the episode. Nonetheless, here we are, continuity at its finest. Kneading can be tiresome, so don't be afraid to show him who's boss. Now that we've sufficiently beaten our dough into a pulp, and it's nice and supple now, we can put it in a bowl with another bowl on top and in the oven for 1 hour. On the lowest setting it is, for me that's 30 degrees. You want it at about that temperature. If you don't have a rise dough setting on your oven, just put it in there with the light on or put it in a warm space. So it's been an hour. Pulling the dough out of the oven, it has risen and become quite airy. Now we can divide it into 130 gram pieces. So with a bench scraper or a knife or whatever you've got to cut the dough up, measure out roughly 130 gram pieces, and then we're going to shape these into our logs or ropes, which we're going to then form into pretzels. So obviously working with one piece at a time, you just grab it and roll it out. On an unfloured bench is fine because you want it to be able to grab a bit and stretch out into a long rope. Maybe try and grab someone to come and help you if you can. It's a good activity to do with friends, and it goes along a lot quicker. Unless you like the time it takes and you've got a lot of patience. About this long. Then we're going around both ends and then tuck it in at the bottom. This one's kind of a long one, but again, just bring two ends over, cross, twist, and then pinch it together at the bottom. Perfect Brezeln. Okay, so now that we've rolled out and shaped all of our pretzels, we're just going to leave them for about 15 minutes to try and develop a little bit of a skin on top, which is going to help develop some crunch later on. In the meantime though, towards the end of the 15 minutes, we'll get a pot of boiling water on with some baking soda, which we're going to boil the pretzels in. So with about 5 minutes to go on our pretzel timer-ish, we're going to boil 1.5 litres of water and add to that 3 tablespoons of bicarb soda. And what that's going to do is that's going to help in 2 ways. Texturally, it's going to help form a crispy crust on the outside and keep it soft and chewy on the inside. So for the colour, it's going to create a nice dark brown colour with sort of the cracked bits that you'll see later on. While you're waiting for the water to come up, chuck your oven on to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 205 Celsius. Okay, our water is boiling. And so now we can put a pretzel in one at a time, and it's going to foam up, which is why I put it in a kind of a bigger pot, for about 15 seconds, at which point, I'm not counting, may be over 15 seconds already, but at which point it'll rise to the top, and then we can chuck it on our lined baking sheet, like so. And would you believe it, we're going to add some more salt. These are salty pretzels.
These pretzels are making me thirsty!
Yes, these pretzels are going to make you thirsty. If you like, you can score them a bit just by making a small cut in some areas, and that'll make them look real cool. So repeat that with all the pretzels, and then we're ready to go. So we've got most of our pretzels onto trays. So I would maybe avoid doing big ones like this, even though it's probably the more authentic shape. But anyway, get as many pretzels into the oven as you can. And then we're going on for 16 minutes or until dark brown. Alright, our 16 minutes is up. Let's take a look at how we're going in the oven. Oh, geez, she's hot. Ooh. Look at that. Alright, by now you should have some very sexy looking pretzels. But what are we going to serve it with, I hear you ask? Well, I like to serve it with just some mild American mustard, or, as James suggested, you guys remember James, right? You could serve it with quark, which is an acid-set cheese, kind of like cottage cheese. It's very, very popular in Germany. Very good, especially if you're bulking. It's very good, especially if you're bulking, like I am clearly, because it can be up to 40% fat, and then most of the rest is protein and calcium with some other stuff thrown in there. So let's bust this open as well and have a go at it. I know the mustard is good, so let's try this cheese. Salty pretzels, local beer. There's not many things greater in life. Nice. Thanks for joining the first Oktoberfest episode of the Love Cafe. I'll catch you next week. I know nothing. For Hypersteros? No? I don't know what that is. Or about my wife has been most persistent on the money, on the pretzel money. Where is the money? Have you got the money? Yeah.
I just guessed that.